If you're in a relationship with a living supernatural God, then you'd probably expect to have live supernatural conversations with Him, because conversation is the bedrock of any healthy relationship. And the Bible makes this pretty clear. People like Noah, Abraham, Moses, Joshua, Samson, Deborah, Gideon, Samuel, David, Elijah, and Elisha, many of the kings, all the recorded prophets of the exile era, Mary and Joseph, Jesus, the 12, Paul, Barnabas, Cornelius, Timothy, and loads of other people in the Bible were directed by personal supernatural revelations, prophecies from the Lord. Acts chapter 2 says that in the last age of earth, God's Spirit will be poured out manifestly, available for all people at all times. And as a hallmark evidence of that, it says, your sons and daughters will prophesy, your young men will see visions, your old men will dream dreams. Even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my Spirit in those days, and they will prophesy. In other words, these days, everyone, every age, every class, each gender gets to hear from God prophetically. Some may be more gifted at it, but we all get to experience it in some way. God speaking can be soft, and it might need some figuring out because, God has chosen to be subtle enough in this world to require and provoke faith in us. So we see that He often speaks in symbols or through mysterious sayings that we need to decipher prayerfully, or He tells us only bits of what we might want to know in order that we have to rely on Him in the moment for the rest of it. Just because God speaks doesn't mean that we don't have to lean into Him to find our way. And in fact, I've noticed that when God gives revelation or direction in my own life, it often increases the amount of faith that I have to exercise, because I'm suddenly called to act on a prophecy that I can't really prove conclusively until I try it. It's like in all supernatural ministries, God partners with us in prophecy. Some application of our effort may be necessary. So we practice prophetic listening, and one of the things we do at our church is to have prophecy services, so we can all practice together and hopefully encourage everyone to practice themselves. We gather for a worship service and we set aside a big chunk of time for seeking prophetic words for one another. We're listening to God together, listening on behalf of one another. Sometimes working together to decipher a meaning or the proper way to apply a revelation. And the more mature or gifted prophets will share personal words with the others in the family, and it's all very helpful and encouraging to everyone as a rule. But of course, the point in all that is not simply to hear God together, but to walk together by His direction. The point of listening is acting on what you hear and growing in our life and work somehow. We have this saying, the Lord is more likely to speak to those who are on the move, because those are the people who need directions. And I think it's important that a community of faith work be a community of listening. Listening to God is one of the things we get to share with one another. It's kind of like sharing our vibrant personal relationship with God with one another.